What's going on, peoples? Just doing a quick little video without the bros. Just me. This weekend, Saturday. Went to work for a little bit this morning, but just trying to relax, enjoy the rest of the evening. Wifey is out of town. She's back home in Indiana. I'm gonna be following her shortly, but I don't know, just it's been a lot going on in my headspace and my mental over the last couple of weeks. I've been compelled to just kind of record my thoughts, talk them out, share them. Who knows, this might just be a video for myself, or maybe I'll be led to share it with other people, but I just want to just kind of like gauge where I'm at. It's been kind of up and down emotionally. That's what I'll say. I'm not gonna say it's been rough. It's been tough. I've been through rough patches. I've been through trials. I've been through things that have been tough. I mean, overall, I'm at peace. I'm thankful for every opportunity that I get to discover more of myself every day. The obstacles and the challenges that I've overcome. But yeah, it's been up and down. I've been an emotional roller coaster, I guess I could say, when it comes to dealing with my mental health. Like, just to say that, my mental health is just, people don't want to say it in that regards, because it sounds like you going crazy or you nutso and all of that. But I mean, everybody is dealing with mental health. Mental health is what it is. It's the conscious awareness of the well-being of your mental state. What's going through your mind day in and day out? Is it beneficial to you? Is it helping you, or is it hurting you? Is it holding you back, or is it propelling you forward? Everybody is dealing with having a state of positive mental health, enlightenment, and things of that nature. But yeah, sometimes we gotta root out the not necessarily root out the negative or the bad, but learn from it, understand it, so it can be a stepping stool for you instead of a hindrance. So that's where I've been at, man. I've really been dealing with things internally that I feel personally are shaping my behaviors and my thought patterns. And I can ramble. I probably end up just, if I do share this video, just chop it all up, because I ramble. Like, this is like I'm talking how my thoughts are, all over the place, but thank God, I am learning, I'm growing, and I'm understanding the power of prayer, the power of meditation, the power of taking moments to yourself and with the Most High, and being able to just basically just tap out of everything that around you that puts the thoughts in your mind daily. Meditation has been such a relief for me, and a place of rest, not so much an escape. At first, when I began to, and I've been listen to a lot of lectures and reading a lot of books, and people talk about your third eye experience and being awakened and things of that nature. And I honestly feel like that I've been experiencing a state outside of what we know as reality in my time in prayer and meditation. And it was exciting. It was scary. It was exciting. But I began to use it as a means of escape. And that's where the imbalance is at with me. Is like, man, it can't be an escape, because it just be just like everything else that we use to try to escape what we don't want to deal with. And when I don't want to deal with the physical world around me, and I want to run to my escape place and my own thoughts and my minds. That really got me to truly understanding, like, when people are depressed and like they sleep all the time, it's like they're trying to get away. Why people drink a lot, or they get hooked on some type of narcotic or whatever. They could just take their minds away from the reality that's around them. And like, shoot, prayer and meditation is no different, if we use it and look at it in that sense. And I don't think that's healthy. We shouldn't use it as a drug. We're here for a reason. I gotta tell myself that. The people that you encounter every day, the things that you're tasked to do, the decisions that you have to make that are predicated on the decisions that other people make. We're all playing our part in making this world function the way that it is, whether it's good or bad. It's decisions that mankind makes that affects everybody. Either we can roll with the masses, or you can be an outlaw and go with your own narrative. And usually you outcast for it, you ostracized for it, you looked at in a negative way, or whatever the case may be, until you get enough people to kind of like be kindred spirit with you, and then now you got a small clique that might grow into a bigger clique, and so on and so forth. And we all know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about society, classes, races, religions, science, philosophy, like all of these different ways of thinking that us as mankind have developed as a means to have an understanding about our existence and why we're here. And like I say, it's just like you always have that inside of you, like you want more. People have set dreams and goals. You got business goals, schools. You want to, have kids and be married and be at peace, or travel, learn other languages, other cultures. You could do all of this stuff, but man, once you achieve it, then what? What's next? You're going to want to tackle something else. You're always going to have that desire to know more, to grow, to learn, to thrive, to achieve, to go higher. And that's because that is what we should be doing, but it's just our conscious self. Because I believe that that's the everlasting part of you, whereas this physical is not. So when you accomplish things and you reach plateaus so much in this physical realm, it is not really fulfilling, because all of these things can get snatched from you, or they can run its course, or it could just simply just get old. But anyway, throughout the course of that, like I say, I just began to realize how I was using my time in seeking the Father, and my time with looking internally into myself, to know myself, the good and the bad, to accept the negative about me, and realized that I need to learn from it before I can actually change it, and yeah, it became kind of like my escape. And then I realized, like, nah, that's not healthy, because I began to get to a point, I'm married, I love my wife, but we've been married 6 years, and it's definitely been some challenges in my marriage, like a lot of marriages. I've been married before, she's been married before, so we've both been divorced, and working on trying to get this right. And it's just like sometimes I'll get to the point where, man, when that wasn't going how I wanted, or things with my kids or my job or whatever the case may be, it's just like, man, yeah, I got this escape. I found this place that I can go, and it relieves me temporarily. And I don't think that that's the goal of tapping into the abode of the Father, or that place where you begin to understand and know yourself. I think the point of getting to that place is so you can gain what you need to give you the fortitude and empower you to deal with everything that you are facing in this part of your existence, in this physical world, righteously and wisely and at peace. So we have to learn how to have peace in all of the situations that we come across. So that's where I've been. And I think maybe it's just because, kind of new to this, man, not true to this, man, like, really focusing on myself. I didn't at first. I can honestly say that I've been seeking a stronger relationship and understanding with God for a while. But the beginning journey of that seeking God and understanding God was all based off of, my religious upbringing and following these rules and principles and regulations that were set before me. This is how you obtain this oneness with God. And I was living my life really just kind of like based off of those things, and not really, exploring or understanding this journey for myself. So, like I said, I kind of switched gears, and then I began in an unorthodox way, just began to just look into myself, and just really ask the questions and just sit still and wait for the answers. So, where I'm at right now. Where I'm at right now is, like I say, through the course of this, so much stuff has been revealed, just a little bit. So, just emotionally, I realize that I have a fear. This is a hard one, I guess, for me, but it's just like a fear. I take it that I'm a pretty outgoing person, a people person. I get along well in social settings. I like to have a good conversation. So I feel like I have a pretty healthy flow when it comes to, dealing with people and interacting with people and giving people my best energy and receiving it from them. But don't never feel like I have a problem with making friends or building relationships with people. But man, I dig deep and begin to discover that, man, like I have this fear of being alone, like loneliness. Like, what the heck is that? And more and more I saw that it was kind of predicated on my, I guess, inability or lack of knowing how to connect intimately with people. And I don't just mean in a romantic relationship with my wife, but just intimately, closely with people, like in a genuine way. Not just, hey, you my bro, hey, you my sis, hey, this my best friend, this my mama, this my this, but just like in a way that's personal, and a really truly healthy soul tie with another individual, not based off of who they are externally to you, but who they are internally. And I think what was making it hard for me to connect with people on that level was because how can I share that internal closeness with somebody if A, I don't know who I am internally to share with them, and B, they don't know who they are internally to share with me. So they only give me the persona of who they are. I looked up what persona means. Persona is like the mask, or the mask that we put on in front of people when we don't want people to see what's on the inside of us. And sometimes we don't want people to see what's on the inside of us because we think that the things that's on the inside of us are ugly. And sometimes it's not that they're ugly. It's ugly when it's exposed in society because we put all of these judgments and criticisms up, but really we just don't understand. We don't understand some of the things that, society is deemed unfit and unacceptable, but yet we feel these emotions and we have these thoughts and we bury them, and then people just can't control it. They build up and then it just comes out in a toxic way, and to think that we all don't have these toxic explosions is very naive. Yes, the level of the explosion might not affect as many people. It's just like a grenade versus an atomic bomb. Atomic bomb is going to blow up and it's going to spread for hundreds of miles and affect thousands of people, versus a grenade, it might just go only a few feet and only affect a few people if you're in the vicinity of that blast. But regardless, the damage can still be the same. So we all see the stuff that's going on in the news, and I live in Texas, so that Uvalde shooting and all of these shootings and innocent people, man. Those people, man, they just buried things, and emotionally it just came out in this toxic way that affected a lot of people. Well, yours might not be like that. You might not be ready to go just wipe out a bunch of innocent little kids, but you might just blow up at your girl or your guy, snap on your kids, and yeah, that might not be a big enough blast to just really affect a whole bunch of people, but it still affected somebody. And it's all because of pent up, emotions that we didn't deal with correctly. And people gotta realize, I just said this the other day talking to somebody, it's not your feelings. And I think that that's the problem. People couple our feelings and our emotions together as one, like they're the same. And your feelings and your emotions are not. Seemingly you can't control the feelings that you have. If somebody turned the air off in the car I'm in right now, the temperature is going to raise because it's hot outside. It's 101 outside right now. I'm going to feel hot. I'm going to have that feeling. But just because I feel hot doesn't mean that I have to respond emotionally to that feeling, which would be an emotional response to me being hot. I feel hot, but my emotion is I'm irritated, and I show my irritation. I just start taking off my clothes and taking off my shirt because I'm trying to find that comfort. I can make a choice whether or not I want to do that or not. So you can feel a certain type of way based off of a situation that's presented yourselves to your five senses, and even your sixth sense. It might rub you the wrong way and make you feel a certain type of way, but we can make a choice on how we emotionally respond to it. And because people don't want to respond emotionally like how they really feel sometimes, like out of control, and just let your emotions just run rapid, then we bury the feeling. Instead of dealing with the feeling properly, in a healthy way, deal with the feeling, Just control the emotion, But anyway, I've been realizing that about myself, how sometimes it's just not that easy. It's not that easy to gain understanding. Well, okay, let me back up a little bit before even gain understanding, but discern what's true. And the thing about discerning what's true and what's not true is, at the end of the day, everything is true. Even the things that is presented to you that might get debunked in some type of way, it's still with some truth behind it. The truth of it is that you needed to experience that concept presented in a way that may have been misleading towards your better development, but that's truth. That's truth because that's your truth. You needed to experience that. So, but we have to discern, what is coming into our mental space and into our aura and around us, what type of energy is, because you need negative and positive, but is all you're getting is negative, and it's not balanced out by positive. And what balances out is that we learn from the negativity, and we learn how to bring in the positive and create the right, source of energy that we need to move us, catapult us forward. So it's like you got to have discernment of that's coming into your space and have that balance. You can't help it, man. There's gonna be some BS, man. People gonna hit you with all type of this because it's a motive behind it. You have to discern that. But once you discern that, you're gonna have to have understanding. You're gonna have to really understand what these life scenarios and these experiences and these ideas and concepts that sometimes come from other people that you're picking up on. You have to have understanding of why it's entered into your space. Is it fate, or is it just other people's choices? Is it your choice? Did you put yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people? But again, it's all part of our story, our journey, us learning. You got to gain that understanding, and then from that point, you can really start to dissect and really look at how this understanding about who you are, how that can be applied to the collective, to everybody else, and that's where I've been at. I've been trying to really truly understand my purpose in my wife's life, in my children's lives, and my family, the people that are around me, my friends, my community. Because sometimes, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't feel like the things that God has given me, or I feel like the things that I'm discovering about myself, I feel unworthy a lot, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like, it doesn't matter whether I release what I have or I don't. Like, I just feel like, man, everybody's gonna end up getting what they need one way or another, and it don't have to be for me, and sometimes I feel like that state of confusion that I find myself in, and that's hard to really admit to, man. People don't want to admit that they're confused. People don't want to admit that I don't have the answers. We want to be right. I was one of them people, man. I always wanted to be right, man. Like, and it's like, it wasn't, and I said this on one of our episodes with my brothers on the podcast, man. I said that, like, it wasn't really until I accepted the fact that I may be wrong that I really felt like that I started to understand more, you know. Um, but anyway, just back to what I was originally saying, like, um, I've been really on this self-discovery journey and really just unlocking, all of the things about myself, really learning myself, like, I just got through watching Doctor Strange, the multi-universe. That was a crazy movie, man. But what stood out to me was just like, when people were encountering their other selves, like, it's still you. It's just you from another universe. Like, can you look at yourself and can you tell yourself what it is that other self is going through, because you know yourself that much? Like, can you look at yourself and say, man, you haven't been happy. You haven't been in a good place. You really need help. You need support. You're alone. You're hurt. You're angry. You're sick. Or can you say that I'm really, really proud of you? You have stood the test of time. You're strong. You're resilient. You're enlightened. You're aware. You're so peaceful. There's a peace around you. Can you look at yourself and tell yourself who you are? I like to tell people just like a little exercise, like, what would you say if you had to write your own eulogy? Like, would you say all the things that you wanted to be? Or can you truly say who you really are? People say nothing but good things about a person at a funeral, man. Like, I got a lot of homeboys, man, that got killed in the streets. And I ain't gonna lie, man. Some of my homeboys was some dogs, man. Like, I mean, we get to the funeral and they saying a whole bunch of nice stuff about them, but shoot, they got killed, man, trying to take somebody's head off. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not saying that there's not good things about my homeboys, man. I respect the dead, man. I respect my homeboys that was in my life, man, that I was in the trenches with. And I know it's a reason that their lives was cut off sooner than mine, and that I had the opportunity to make some righteous choices with my life. Maybe they were just put in my world, man, for me to see what I needed to do, and I believe in that. I believe in the idea, the concept of souls coming here on a mission, for other souls. And we just really can't understand death and why people die sooner than others, But anyway, the point, I'm making is just like, did they really know themselves? You know what I'm saying? And man, it's a lot, man, and that's kind of like what this video is just a release, man, to just say, man, like, man, sometimes I just don't know what, sometimes I don't know what to believe, or sometimes I don't know what to think, but man, I feel at peace saying that. I feel at peace knowing that. Like, it used to wreck my brain and drive me crazy not being sure, just because I thought that being sure was a sign that I was growing, and I don't think that that's the case. Every day I feel like I don't know nothing, man. I feel like when I learn something or discover something or hear something that I haven't heard before, that I didn't understand before, like, I feel that much more ignorant. And it's just like, but then I go back and then I think about all of the things that I have learned, and to be like, man, I have learned a lot from point A to point, but you should always be feeling like that. Like, once you don't feel like that, that's when pride gets in the way. And we think that we know it all. And just because I achieved this and I went to school and I got this degree and that degree and I achieved this and, this many people follow me and this many people listen to me and blah, 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 blah. And your ego gets in the way. And then there's no room for you to really grow and advance at the rate and the pace that you were growing at when you didn't know nothing. When you were an ignorant, naive, eager student. And I'm here to say that. Like, I want to remain that eager, naive student. And it's okay to say that, because at the end of the day, yeah, we might stumble. We might go down a path that we might have to learn, man, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have went down that street, But even when you go the wrong way, and I think I said this in a video before, like, even if you're going the wrong way, it doesn't matter if you gotta back up and turn around because you went down a dead-end street. You're still progressing. If you hadn't went down that wrong turn, then you wouldn't have known for future reference that that's not the way to go. If you gotta ever go back, come on, and pick up somebody that lost they sense of direction along the way, you ain't gonna pick them up and be lost. So don't look at all of those situations as negative, or I'm moving backwards, or this. Man, if you're in that relationship and it ain't working, and you trying to hang on to it, and then you let the relationship go, and you move on, but that person end up growing and advancing, and then y'all get back in each other's lives. Don't be, thinking like, hey, I'm not moving backwards, blah, blah, blah. Maybe that wasn't the season for y'all to be together. Maybe y'all needed to be together and go through all of the things that y'all went through to learn what y'all need to work on. And now that y'all, worked on them, the things that y'all did see that did attract each other to one another, now maybe that could come into its fullness, or maybe not. Maybe just keep on moving. That chapter is closed. But my thing is, I used to be told, man, by my mom. My mom was a pastor, just that having an open mind is not always good. Like, you should be, well, I ain't gonna say she said having an open mind, but she just said clearing your thoughts and basically, and this is really in regards to meditation. She was like, meditation is you clearing your mind and clearing your thoughts. And it was like, well, no, you don't want to do that, because you leave your mind open for the wrong things to come in. But I don't necessarily agree with that anymore. Yes, it's good to focus on God and think about God, but people got to realize, man, God don't need us. We're taught to worship God. God don't need our worship. I don't feel he requires our worship. That's why we have free will. If you freely make a choice to give your surrender and your allegiance and pay homage and honor to the one that put you here, I think that's definitely a righteous thing to do, and can potentially be part of your journey moving that much faster. But ultimately, I believe God wants you to understand who you are, because he designed you and he formed you and fashioned you for a specific purpose in the grand scheme of things. But if you don't understand that, then how can you be fluid with everything else in this universe? You're not. You're gonna pull when you should be pulling. You're gonna be pushing when you should be pulling. So I believe that's important, very, very important, that we truly know ourselves. you know. And as you begin to really know yourself and not yourself that society says you are, because of how you look or where you're from or what you do, this is who you should be. And that doesn't have to be the case. You be who you have discovered who you are. And God's Spirit is here to help guide you into that, bring you back to the state that you are so deserving to be a part of. That's wholeness and oneness. You know. So yeah, I get confused along the way. I get frustrated sometimes. The thing is, one thing that I have definitely gained, and this has been over the course of, you know, last few years or so, man, is always being able to find peace. Peace in the midst of the storm. It's not necessarily you finding peace if the storm is over. Everybody at peace, the sun is shining, you know. But can you find peace when the storm is there, you know? And sometimes the storm doesn't always mean some negative, tragedy, traumatic, toxic situation. It could just mean the storm could just be our own lack of understanding, our own ignorance, our own confusion, you know, our own state of just not knowing. Because now when you know and when you understand, now you can make a choice on what to do. So where I'm at is trying to take what I now know, what I understand, that is just so, I say this as humbly as I can, but just where I'm at it and what I feel personally, my personal conviction and my understanding about life is so far away from this life. Like, it takes me so far beyond what us in this society has deemed as this is what life is all about, to pursue the happiness. It's so far from that. It's like the opposite, where nothing really matters. It doesn't matter if I'm rich, if I'm poor, if I'm black, if I'm white, if I'm a man, if I'm a woman, if I'm married, if I'm single, if I'm sick, if I'm healthy, if I'm, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, because internally, in my heart and my mind, those things are really not affected by it when I go into that space, that place, that secret place, that quiet place, that hard to reach place, you know. And like I say, when my awareness is just open up and I'm just, and it's at that place that I'm at that is just like, I'm really trying to now tie back into the gifts and the calling and why I'm still here at almost 40. I'll be 45 this year. Why I'm still here when 20 years ago I was headed down the road to destruction, you know, self-destruction, you know. So it's like, man, I'm still here, you know. And it's just like, when I try to just get focused and be like, well, I'm here for my kids, I'm here for my family, blah, 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 blah. And that's great. That's great. But I realize more and more, like, I already did my part. My kids are on their journey. And this might sound kind of crazy, and it's just a whole nother thought process, but it's like, did I really do my kids justice by bringing them into this troublesome world to begin with? You know, were they already not a soul before they entered into the womb of their mother via my seed, you know? But I brought them in here, but what's done is done. So I brought them in here. And now their journey that they're on it. It's their path. Like, yes, can I be influential in a positive way? Yes, by doing the right things. But the thing about it is we have, as a society, have labeled what it means to be what we need to be for our kids. how we should bring them up as a collective. Now, for the most part, I feel like, yeah, we have picked up on the righteous things to do, bringing kids up, but how many other little things that are hindrances have we thrown in the equation too, versus, really teaching every soul that comes into this world that, hey, at the end of the day, I could guide you and teach you and train you till I'm blue in the face, but you have to tap into truth for yourself. And that place that you find the truth is only found in you. From a Christian standpoint, they say it's found in Christ. Well, where's Christ? In you. What are you commissioned to do while you're on this earth? Is be Christ-like. I don't like the Christ-like no more. To be Christ. That's what the story of Jesus is all about. Is this man that chose to be Christ. I'm Darnell. I have to choose to be Christ. Whatever your name is, you have to choose to be Christ. And Jesus, he gave us the blueprint and an example. He showed us, look, boom, boom, boom. Maybe you might not do it exactly footprint by footprint what he did, but you apply the principles. That's why he talked in parables. The stuff that he was saying wasn't literal. You take it, you apply it to your situation, because everybody's situation is going to be different. The hardships that you face are hardships. We in America. I'm in America. I don't know who listening to this, wherever y'all at, but if you're in America, what you're facing, the hardships that you're facing is not the same as what people are going through in third world countries or in Russia and Ukraine right now, or anywhere where, it's wars and, your hardship is not the same. But the feelings are the same. The emotions are the same. So you have to tap into you for your situation, for what you're going in. You have to know the true you, the you that was originally designed for you to be. I know it seems like kind of rambling a little bit. Like I said, I probably just edit and chop this up a lot, but it's just been so much, man, with the healing part. Some days it's profound. Some days it's like I discovered something about myself. I'm running telling my wife, like, man, this is why I did this. This is why I would rage out and just blah, blah, blah. And I had all of this. Man, look at this happened first and then that happened and woo, and this person did that to me and I never dealt with it properly and I never went to that person and I never told that person how I felt and I this and this and this and then this is why and then some days it's just like it's a burden. It's a burden because it's just like, oh, how much more am I going to discover that I don't like? And I think that's why sometimes a lot of people just cling to the positive and the righteous attributes of ourselves. And everybody doing affirmations and we saying the same affirmations about you are great, you are this, you are that. But dang, is everybody great? And I'm not saying that people are not great, but I'm just saying, like, don't just cling to what you think is good about yourself, and don't just cling to the idea of what you want yourself to be. Embrace all of who you are, and then you channel that accordingly, and you learn and you understand yourself so you can put the right foot forward, take the right step in the right direction. So I don't know, like, I feel like I'm like right in like the middle of being at a really good place of understanding, like, and a place of strength while I'm in this physical world and in the roles that I've been given. I realize that I'm right there, but I don't want to rush it. But at the same time, it's like I know I can't be timid and shrink back either. I got to do some things. So it's just like some things I called to do. Like I published my book, and now I want to be this writer. And it's just like, just because I published this book, doesn't just automatically mean like, all right, well, this is my life. I need to just write all the time and blah, blah, blah. And then I tried to do that. I just tried to, all right, let me get the next book done and blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, no, like, yes, I'm showing you who you are. I'm showing you what you can accomplish. Things that you didn't even imagine for your life. Things that you didn't even the beginning of this thing dream. And I'm giving you more, and I'm revealing hidden gifts and hidden talents. And so just as much as the hurtful things that's being revealed and the painful things about myself and feeling guilty and shameful and not wanting to talk about things that I've done and I've done to other people, and just really just owning that, like, that's hard. That is hard, but I'm also just discovering so much beauty about myself from the inside, and being able to look at myself in the mirror every day and look at myself in this camera and look and say, this is not you. This is part of your facade. This is part of your persona. This is part of your mask. This is your skin that you're in. And don't dictate who you are based off of the skin that you're in. And understand why you're in the skin you're in. And when I say that, it's a reason why you grew up where you grew up, why you had the parents that you had, why you experienced this, you experienced that. All of that stuff was all part of your story, what your soul set in motion. Because your soul was here. It came here. It came here on a mission. Every soul is here on a mission. It's an individual pursuit. I don't care if it's Confucian or Buddha or Muhammad, Jesus, all of these great prophets, these great writers, these great thinkers, these philosophers, they were on individual pursuits for themselves. Yeah, ultimately the idea of changing the world and enlightening the world and bringing joy and harmony and peace and healing and knowledge and understanding and advancement, yes. Yeah, that's the end goal. But in order for you to do that, you have to tap into what you need to tap into for yourself. And I think that that's why a lot of the great minds and a lot of the inventors and stuff like that, I remember I read up on that, like, Albert Einstein and all these different great Nikola Tesla and, these great genius minds, man, they suffer from a lot of mental issues, from schizophrenia to, bipolar and just all type of stuff, man, and depression and just anxiety and social anxiety and but they knew they had something in them, and because they didn't know how to harness and understand who they really were to be able to present it out, they just tried to just put it out there, and it drove them mad. And yes, did we get what we needed? Yes. Everybody's going to give the world what they need. All my dead homeboys, man, that died before the age of 21, man, they gave the world exactly what they needed. They gave me what I needed with their lives. Their lives are not in vain, But how much more better, how much more can we extinguish all of the negativity in the world and bring about the change that we really in our hearts want if we take the things that's put in us, really know who we are, so we can really truly know how to release it in a healthy way that's healthy and beneficial, not just for ourselves, but for the environment. Sometimes we do stuff that's just beneficial to ourselves, and that's good. But if it's all about just you, then it's going to be a negative thing to the world. But then if it's just you just give, and you're just this people person, you just pour out to everybody else, and it drains you, and you don't put that back into yourself, then it's going to be negative for you. You got to find that balance, And I'm saying this, because that's where I'm at. Like, it's hard. It's hard for me to find this balance, man. This middle ground between, the spiritual plane that I'm trying to elevate on and still remaining at this physical level, And it's just like your consciousness is elevating more and more and more, but this is not coming up with you. So you got to just keep going back to this place, and it's just like, and that's what a balance. You see that? You got to find that alignment where you can still be able to elevate your consciousness and your spirit, man, and feed it at the same time being connected to what you have to do here in this physical plane. So, don't like doing the videos. I don't be knowing what to say. I don't know how to start it off. It just was in me to do this. I record on StreamYard. My StreamYard wasn't working, and that just demotivated me. And I just knew that I had to do this. I had to overcome my doubt and my fear. I have that all the time. Every time I talk to y'all, like I probably just run my mouth a lot, but I'm not 100% just confident to just push play and just feel like I'm gonna just tell y'all something that y'all can grab hold of. And at the end of the day, if people didn't listen to the video to the end, I just pray that, man, in the whatever few minutes that you listen to it, I said something that was just enough to give you what you need. And that's it. And I just want to be obedient to myself. Learning. It's not just, hey, he's giving me this idea to do this and do that, and to go on this platform or go on this avenue or deal with this group of people, but I'm doing it with my true self, and I'm doing it in a place that's transparent and it's open and it's free. And my transparency is like, man, I'm a big ball of confusion, man. Don't hold nothing that I say to my chest, man, and I'm okay with that. I'm tired of saying, hey, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. And come to find out what I stand for got some holes in it. And now I got to try to weasel my way out of it, or be prideful and allow my ego to make justifications for what I said or what I did that wasn't accurate or wasn't fully truthful. And now I got to really stand behind a lie. I don't want to live a lie. I want to live the truth of who I am. Whatever perceptions of anybody that know me or know my story or my past or anything, like, I ran the streets, and I used to, be out there trying to get money and live in a city where only the strong survive, man. But, man, I was scared. I wasn't always strong, And I had just got to a point in a place where I just said, I'm just going to accept that this is what it is. And if I live or if I die, so be it. And didn't have an understanding about why I was going through the journey that I was going through, So I think I rambled enough. My 8-year-old, my little baby, is calling me right now, so I'm gonna end this video so I can talk to my seed. But man, I love you guys. I believe that we are in a place collectively in this world right now where people are tapping into, I guess, the realization that is so much more to our existence than just what we're experiencing right now, and that we want to be prepared. you know. So, blessings to everyone, health and strength and peace. And talk to you guys soon.